There is a moment in every life when the familiar self grows quiet, and something deeper rises from beneath the surface. Not the face shown to the world, but the one that lingers behind it. The one made of echoes, unfinished thoughts, and forgotten emotions. This is the shadow. Silent, patient, endlessly observant. It follows without questioning, holding everything a person has avoided in order to survive. Most never pause long enough to see it, yet the shadow waits, not as an enemy, but as a mirror. It reveals what is missing, what is hurting, what is true, and in its dark outline lies a simple truth: what a person is often what their shadow has been trying to reveal all along. Recognition rarely arrives with thunder. It comes softly, almost imperceptibly, as a subtle shift in the emotional temperature of a person's life, a discomfort that cannot be named, a reaction that feels disproportionate, a moment when someone says something small, yet it stings far more than it should. These are the first footsteps of the shadow, not dramatic, not obvious, just a gentle pull from a place the conscious mind has overlooked. People often sense it long before they understand it, a strange heaviness before certain conversations, a sudden quiet after an argument, a familiar ache that rises whenever they are alone. These moments are not accidents, they are signals, the psyche whispering that something stored deep within has begun to stir. The shadow does not reveal itself in grand revelations. It reveals itself in patterns. The same disappointment repeated with different faces. The same frustration returning despite good intentions. The same emotional bruise touched again and again by life. Recognition begins when a person notices that the world is not simply happening to them. They are participating in it through unseen parts of themselves. The shadow steps forward when the conscious self can no longer hold the weight of what it has ignored. A person begins to sense they are carrying more than their present experiences. They feel echoes of old fears, old hurts, old roles resurfacing. It is the quiet realization that something internal is shaping the external. And in this moment, gentle, unsettling, deeply human, the door to the inner world begins to open, not through force, but through the soft recognition that what lingers in the shadow still speaks. The origins of the shadow are not born in darkness, they are born in protection. Every person begins life whole, open, expressive, emotionally transparent. But the world teaches quickly. A child learns which emotions are welcomed and which ones create distance, which behaviors earn warmth and which invite silence. Slowly, pieces of the self begin to be tucked away, not out of shame, but out of survival. The shadow begins where the unexpressed self ends. A child who feels anger but is taught to stay quiet learns to bury emotion to maintain connection. A child who feels fear but must appear strong learns to hide vulnerability to avoid disappointment. A child who feels joy but is told to calm down learns to shrink to be accepted. These hidden fragments do not disappear. They simply migrate deeper into the psyche, forming a quiet internal archive of everything a person learned not to show. The shadow grows from the disowned parts of identity, unrealized talents, unspoken needs, unfelt sadness, unacknowledged insecurities. Every "I shouldn't feel this" becomes a seed. Every "I have to be this instead" becomes a root. By adulthood, The shadow is a full landscape, shaped by culture, family, expectations, and the emotional negotiations made along the way. It is not a dark place, it is a storage place, a container for everything the conscious mind felt it could not carry openly. And when a person encounters their shadow later in life, they are not meeting a stranger. They are meeting the forgotten version of themselves. From a psychological standpoint, the shadow is the natural consequence of the mind's need for organization and emotional safety. Jung described it as the unconscious counterpart to the persona, the public identity that navigates the world. The persona shows what is acceptable, the shadow holds what is not. But the shadow is not destructive by nature, it is informational. Neuroscience reveals that the brain suppresses emotional material when it threatens stability, social connection, or self-image. This suppressed content does not vanish. It becomes implicit memory, shaping reactions and beliefs from beneath awareness. This is why people sometimes overreact to small events, why certain personalities trigger unexplained discomfort, why old wounds can be activated by new situations. The shadow communicates through projection, seeing in others what is unresolved within. Through patterns, repeating the same emotional cycles in different circumstances. Through intuition, subtle reactions that seem irrational but carry buried meaning. The psyche uses the shadow to maintain balance, compensating for what the conscious mind rejects. It is a psychological counterweight, ensuring that wholeness remains possible even when awareness is selective. Understanding the shadow through this lens transforms fear into clarity. The hidden self is not working against the person, it is working to complete them. When the shadow rises into awareness, the first response is rarely welcome. People resist what they do not want to admit. They push away emotions that feel too heavy, too old, too revealing. This resistance forms the inner conflict that defines the shadow's presence. A person may sense anger but label it as irritation. They may feel sadness but disguise it as fatigue. They may experience fear but call it caution. The mind attempts to protect itself through rationalization, minimizing, over-explaining, and retreating into familiar roles. But the shadow persists because its purpose is not to disrupt, it is to be acknowledged. The struggle emerges when old wounds meet current identity. The self built for survival must face the self built for truth. This confrontation is rarely dramatic. It looks like emotional tension before speaking honestly, like avoiding someone who reflects uncomfortable truths, like feeling a quiet ache in moments that should feel peaceful. The conflict is not between good and bad, it is between visible and hidden, and the shadow waits patiently for the moment when the person is ready to stop running from what lives within them.